Take one. Nope. Take one. Ugh. That's not right. Take one. Take one. Hi everyone, it's been a minute. Today I want to talk about a few travel tips, particularly when it comes to packing. I love traveling and I'm fortunate to have done it often, and these are just some packing tips and tricks that I have either figured out, found online, or somehow, somewhere, someone had told me about them. I don't know, and I cannot credit every single person who's ever helped me get to the point where I am today, but I hope this is helpful for some of you. First off, be highly critical of what you're packing on your way to your destination. We always overestimate what we need when we're going somewhere. You might be able to buy something if something breaks or, have to replace it. You probably don't need as much clothing as you think that you do. There's this one Jomni Sun tweet that's just excellent. I'll put it up on the screen. The second thing is fashion versus practicality. You need to be comfortable. You need to be having clothes that don't wrinkle easily. The shoes that you're going to wear, you want them to be functional, cute-ish, and there's always one versus the other. Just whatever it is that you do, make sure that it's worth it. If your shoes are not the most practical that you have, but they're also cute, make a poll on Twitter. Just decide on what's best for yourself. I had recently traveled for a week and a couple of my outfits were not the most practical. One of the shirts I just never wore because it got too wrinkled, and I wore something that I bought there. And then the other thing that I bought was a jumpsuit, which is fine until you need to pee. Then it's just like a struggle where it's like you versus your clothing, where you're just like take everything off like as fast as possible. You have to just make that decision of fashion versus practicality, because at the same time, like, you don't want your memory of a place to be like, oh yeah, I was so uncomfortable that day. Like, no, you want to enjoy things as much as possible. Third thing is packing cubes. Packing cubes. Packing cubes. They are a Virgo's dream. They are excellent. You can pack all your shirts in one place, all your pants in one place, your underwear, your socks, like everything is separated out, so that when you are there and you need to find a pair of pants, you don't have to like go digging through everything. Things don't fly everywhere in your bag because you will probably have some empty space on your way to a place. If you do not have any and you don't know where to buy packing cubes, you can always just make your own. Or you could pack everything inside like a cotton t-shirt and then, have it filled as much as possible. And then you can use safety pins, you can use whatever. You can pack your clothes inside bags, inside tote bags, and then just fold them over. These tips shouldn't be you need to buy things in order to have a better experience. But if you have the chance to buy things, you could. But other things work as well. Personally, what I would do is I would find a way to organize everything. But if you like living in chaos, power to you. Another thing is have all your toiletries, obviously have them in one separate area, but like next level hack is if you're gonna have any liquids with you on the flight, on your carry-on or whatever, have them in a plastic clear toiletry bag and keep everything, for the love of God, please only buy things and bring things below 100 milliliters. You do not want to throw anything away. I have seen and I have done and I have had to sacrifice so many liquids, and it's like, why won't you let 120 milliliter toothpaste tube on the flight? Like, what am I going to do with the extra 20 milliliters? And I understand, there are rules and regulations, and I love rules and regulations, but like sometimes it's just like, let me bring my toothpaste. Hack 3.0 is if you have all of your toiletries always packed, always ready to go, a separate travel a separate travel package thing always ready for whenever you're going to travel, so you know that you'll never forget a toothbrush, you'll never forget a pack of toothpaste, a tube of toothpaste. You'll never forget shampoo, you'll never forget soap, because it's all ready and separate out in a clear bag. Next level, ready for you to travel whenever. Next hack is a little weird, but roll with it. If you're going to be doing a lot of like outdoorsy activities and less city and more nature, less close to civilization, more far from civilization type of travel, or even if you're just going to be in the city at all times, I like to pack with me a toilet paper roll in my backpack that I will always carry with me. And But you always have tissue paper, which has not been used anywhere else. Like, it's a fresh roll of toilet paper. And you'll just always have a constant supply of tissue paper whenever you need it. What I like to do is, when I arrive at the destination, you know how like in the hotel they would have new toilet paper rolls and they'd have like ones that are already on the roll thing. You just take like a new one, put it inside your bag, use it for the week or whatever it is, especially if you're going to be moving around a lot. Like, you're not going to remember to pack new pieces of tissue every day. And you could buy like all those tiny pockets of tissue paper, but sometimes they're not enough. Sometimes, you know, you run out, you forget. Like if you just have a toilet paper roll ready and separate out, like in a plastic bag in your backpack, it works. Just like, don't take out the whole roll in public, because it's like, what's she doing with the toilet paper roll? She's being smart, you know, she's being a genius. I hope y'all are ready, because these are my ultimate hacks. These are my next level. You are not prepared for all of these hacks when it comes to traveling back to wherever you live. This involves overweight luggage. Never pay if you have overweight luggage. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. I have been in situations where I had too many things, which is, you know, it just happens. Like, I like buying books when I'm traveling, and that's heavy. You know, I like getting souvenirs and gifts for like my friends and my family, and you know, you gain weight that way. I got this travel hack off of someone online. He was a white male, and anyway, I'll get to the point later. But he was a white male, and what he was talking about is how he travels the world on like less than, I think, 10 kg worth of stuff. I don't know where the article was. I read it like 2 or 3 years ago. The way he did it is just by wearing everything he owns. He had like one carry-on or like one backpack or something very light like that, and he only kept stuff that he physically couldn't wear inside that. And he had like a jacket with a hidden pocket in the back that he can just stuff things into, because you have no limit on how much you weigh as a person, but you do have a limit on how much you are carrying. So what I like to do is, if I have any books, I keep them on my carry-on. If I have clothing, I try to wear as much of it as possible. So that means as many t-shirts as possible, as many jackets as possible, as many pairs of pants as possible. So sometimes that would include like leggings over pants, over like wider pants. And then what I have genuinely done before is I have also worn pants as a scarf. I'd have like multiple scarves on. I would wear multiple layers of socks. I would put socks inside pockets. I would, you know, these are all things I've actually genuinely done. And like the one time where I was like, okay, maybe I'm going a bit too far, was when I was in like the middle of the airport, and after I had weighed my bags, and I was like, okay, just a few more like grams off and then I'll be fine. And I started stuffing shirts into my shirt. And I was like, girl, you're visibly Muslim. You're not a white male. You will be patted down. You can't explain yourself. Like, why do you have a lump of things like right here? Like, it's not worth it. Like, if you can't wear, don't stuff it in your clothes. But you can also like tie jackets around your waist, tie shirts. You know, there are things that you could do to get around paying for extra luggage. Also, what you could do is you can hold a bag of things. People are less likely in checkout counters to say anything if you have like a plastic bag or like, you know, those paper bags from bookstores. And then once what I did was I only traveled with my carry-on and my backpack and, you know, whatever handbag I had. And I bought books. Like a bit too many. So what I did was I was holding the heaviest books that I had in my hand, and I had everything like worn on top of, like clothes on top of clothes on top of clothes, and I had held in my hand either a plastic bag or like a paper bag filled with also the heavier things that I own, so that you just bypass things. Yeah, there are ways to get around having to pay for extra luggage. Because it's like, guys, like, I mean, no one's using the full luggage. Plus, like, if I weighed an extra 10 kg, you wouldn't say anything. So, like, speaking of carry-on luggage, always keep your electronics and important things on you. Do not leave that stuff in your checked-in luggage, because that could get lost. That could take days to come and meet you. That could, like, a lot of things can happen. Don't keep your laptop there. Don't keep any chargers there. Just, you know, it just makes sense. Another airport hack is, I mean, it's not a hack, it's just common sense. Don't wear belts. Don't wear uncomfortable clothes. And if you do, I mean, that's like some deep-seated issue you have there, and I can't help you with that. Just, like, don't do it. If you have an ounce of self-love, if you have an ounce of self-respect, just don't do it. And then my last thing is again a personal preference, but when it comes to souvenirs, I prefer not to get stuff like keychains and t-shirts from the place that are like, you know, specific to the city or specific to the town. I prefer not to get those I heart etc hoodies. I prefer postcards, art, things I will actually use, so clothing that I will actually wear and not stuff like, as I've mentioned before. Scarves, I love hijabs, like I love the different patterns, so that's something that I always end up buying. Jewelry, I would buy jewelry. It's just more of a personal change of thought and change of attitude towards things and stuff. I don't want clutter. I don't want something that I will want to throw away in a year or two. Like if you buy a paperweight, that won't necessarily remind you of the place that you've been, unless you really want it. Like with all of these things, again, unless you really want to, go ahead. I want stuff that I could see, I want stuff I can remember, I want stuff that will give me joy and will remind me of stuff. Like I have this one hijab I bought a few years ago when I was in Hong Kong. Me and my sister, like we both love this hijab so much. We just refer to it as the Hong Kong hijab. Like she borrows it from me. I used to wear it all the time. I don't wear it much anymore just because I got bored of the pattern. But it's like even when I look at pictures of myself wearing that hijab when I'm not in Hong Kong, I do remember buying it in Hong Kong. I remember, you know, like where I was, the sights, the smells. It's just like a personal travel buying things preference. And that's it. I hope to make a new video soon. Thank you in advance for liking and subscribing and sharing. If you want more videos, I'll do them anyway. Like regardless of whether you like this or not. But feel free to share it. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram at Maryam Nasai. You can follow my books account, Books Nasai, where I post about books and I talk about them. And what I want to do someday soon is have an exchange Nasai, where I exchange books with people and people can exchange books with each other and we can all have like a beautiful book experience together. If you live in Bahrain, you know, that's great. Like it will work out. If you don't, sorry, can't help you. I will catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.